Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Egypt is about to host the COP27 climate change conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, and that was the main issue that was discussed by the Minister of Environment and the Minister of Tourism concerning the organizing and the preparations underway for Egypt hosting this important conference in Sharm el-Sheikh next November. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Elhamy Zayat, tourism expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, Dr. Zayat, how do you see President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's keenness that Egypt host this conference? And what are the qualifications needed for a country to host this conference?
Well, I think it's the best thing that happened is that we proposed to host the conference and that the proposal was accepted. Because usually there is a big fight about big conferences. Every country wants to host it. So I think the fact that we succeeded in getting the job is excellent in itself.
Yes.
Now, it has many important things. First, we have to know that the conferences is the best type of tourism in the world in terms of income, because conferees are either guests of some organization of their own government, and they have a lot of pocket money available for spending, which means they have a lot of money to spend outside of the conference in buying things, souvenirs, etc., which makes them very attractive. Secondly, usually the conferees are invited, and as I said, the double room is at the same price of the single room, except for the breakfasts. So this encourages the conferees to get their husband or wife, respectively, or anybody they want to go, because they will share the room at no cost.
Yes.
So this is something very important.
Yes. Dr. Zayat, the Environment Minister Dr. Yasmin Fuad, and also the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Minister Ahmed Isa, have met yesterday in order to discuss the preparations underway for Sharm el-Sheikh city hosting this COP20, this conference of climate change, COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, and they discussed the hotels that are going to host the visitors and participants. They said 132 hotels in Sharm el-Sheikh have already obtained the certificate stating that the appreciation of green practices. So what's your comment on this?
Well, this is important because I'll tell you one thing. We have been working on this green thing for many years, since 2008. And because of the conference, everything took a very good speed. And now the completion is almost there. So I think if we didn't have the conference, it would have waited a bit more than this. So it's very good that we have the conference so that we prove to the people that we can be a green city. And this is what is expected from Sharm el-Sheikh. I hope you know what means a green city. It means that there are no gas, it's very important because we have to limit the heat waves that happens, and as you see, the whole the problems of the weather. So and now you can see that some countries even have the certification. Did you see what's happening in France? You can see the green turning into yellow, into sand. So this is very important, and I think all the efforts have been made to meet the standards required.
Yes, Dr. Zayat, how can Egypt make benefit from hosting the COP27 conference for climate change, take benefit concerning the tourism sector and take this opportunity to make good marketing for tourism in Egypt?
Conferences in itself is a marketing because everybody who attends the conference, when it's well handled, will go back home and can bring 10 people with him or get some people to visit, get his family, his friends. He will talk about it. So this is very, very important for Egypt to hold such a conference. And you don't need advertising because in itself, we advertised a lot before to get the people to Egypt. Now, once we get here, you will see how many people will come back to Sharm el-Sheikh and to Egypt in general. This is a repercussion very much expected from major conferences.
Yes. Sir, what are the suitable steps that Egypt should take to face the impact of climate change on the tourism sector?
There are a lot of things. First of all, we in tourism, we have to start thinking future. We have to start thinking ourselves in the private sector and the public sector to use buses, electric buses as much as possible, to have intelligent lighting in hotels, to have less exhaustion of carbonic gas. This is the most important thing. And it will encourage other cities like Cairo, for instance, to get rid of it, because the hotel can be a good start and people can follow. But you don't expect the normal people to follow. People will follow once there is some established rules that are forced on the hotels, and the tourism in general.
Yes. Sir, what do you think would be the recommendations that is going to come out from the climate change conference, and what would be the situation or the status of the tourism in Egypt after this, the recommendations, or after this the conference on climate change, COP27, end in Sharm el-Sheikh city?
Well, we had an experience in 1994. You remember 1994? We had a lot of problems in Egypt because of internal domestic problems. And at that time, we had the conference, a similar conference. It was called the ICPD, the Population Conference. We had 16,000 guests. And as a result, without advertising and despite the problems we faced, we had an inflow of tourism at that time. So, as I said, this is the best thing that could happen to Egypt. And it can happen. It doesn't necessarily be Sharm el-Sheikh. I hope Sharm el-Sheikh will get the major part of it when it's back to business. But it will impact on all of Egypt, on the monuments, especially that we have a lot of new things to offer in Cairo, like the New Civilization Museum, and hopefully the GEM, which is the Great Egyptian Museum, will open soon. So you'll have many things that will attract besides the conference. And people will talk about it when in Egypt. So that's the good thing. It's word to mouth. And this is the best advertising because, you don't pay money for it. It's done. And it's immediately people believe other people more than they believe advertising in the media.
Yes, Dr. Zayat, during the Egypt hosting the COP27 climate change in Sharm el-Sheikh, what can Egypt offer, or the Ministry of Tourism offer to the visitors or the participants during this conference? The program that Egypt could offer to the visitors and the participants to show them Sharm el-Sheikh city, especially that Sharm el-Sheikh city has a museum. Could you give us could you give us an idea about the places that the participants could visit in Sharm el-Sheikh, and especially give us an idea about the museum of Sharm el-Sheikh?
Well, the museum, which is a very recent museum, is a very, very well done museum because the things are very well exhibited. You know, you have, for instance, Cairo Museum. Now we are rearranging it, but there the museum is very well thought of during the planning period. It's fantastic because it's not big, but it's very interesting. So we have other activities in Sharm el-Sheikh. You know, we have diving experiences, and we have mountain for those who want to go. We have dinners with the Bedouins. We have a lot of activities in Sharm el-Sheikh that people can see. But besides this, the most important is the museum. Why? Because it will drive people to do other trips to Egypt to see the other, or the monument themselves, like the pyramids, etc. Plus, during the conference, people would like to see the pyramids because you can't come to Egypt unless you see the pyramids.
Yes.
And because there are no direct flights to Sharm el-Sheikh, people will have to stop in Cairo on the way in or on the way out. So this will give them a chance to visit or have a little bit of knowledge about Cairo, and this in itself is a big gain for the tourism industry.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Elhamy Zayat, tourism expert. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.